Are you a person who is going through triggers and overwhelming thoughts? Well, then, this live stream is definitely for you. So, if you are going through overwhelming thoughts and triggers, you are literally in a race of thoughts and overwhelming emotions all clustered up together. Literally, your emotions and thoughts are literally as if a race, and you don't have control over your thoughts and emotions. Literally, there is a lot of chatter of your thoughts going on. There's a lot of overwhelming emotions going on, and you feel burnt out, stressed, dejected, do not have that momentum to show up, do not know how to move ahead, do not know what do you really do not know how do you really process your emotions. If you go through all of these things, well, you're not alone. Anyone who's going through emotional triggers, anyone who's going through emotional turmoils, goes through all of that you are going through. So how do you deal with triggers and overwhelming emotions? Record yourself. Whenever you feel like ranting, take a recorder and start recording. And after you've recorded and after you've calmed down, listen to that and see what are the narratives, what are the thoughts that you are seeing. And then write them down and write the positive thought for each of it, and then go back to it at least once throughout the day so that you are aware that what kind of thoughts you are having, what kind of narratives you are getting back into at the core. Your dwelling place, your emotional home, wherever you are, wherever your thoughts are, wherever your emotions are, wherever that inner chatter goes on, that is where your outer consciousness is an external match to. Literally, every aspect of your life is all in alignment, clustering up together, be in oneness to align you to a state of consciousness based on where you are dwelling within. So literally, by changing how you feel, you can literally start seeing the external reality through a different perspective. And when your perspective changes, your body language changes, your outlook changes, your approach changes, your action changes. So does change the results, and so does change the outcome. So it's all in your perspectives. It's all in how you are perceiving and receiving an experience from inside and out. So whenever you are triggered, first and foremost, record yourself. If you feel like ranting your heart out, rant your heart out. Don't hold yourself back. And here are some ways to deal with that overwhelming fear. Understand that fear that you are going through, that's your amygdala that's shaking. Your amygdala is the part that perceives threat, that receives and feels emotion. That is that part which is feeling threatened. And because it's feeling threatened, because of that excess of frightened state, because of that shaking essence, it is reactivating your hippocampus to think of the most negative thoughts. And when your hippocampus is thinking of the negative thoughts, your thalamus is processing and giving signal of, okay, your amygdala is perceiving there is a threat. Ultimately, the message that is reaching your anterior cingulate cortex is that there is something wrong. And that is kind of that state that you're getting into. So you're perceiving and feeling like this is it. This is how it has to be. So it doesn't have to be that way. it can change. And that is by realizing that your amygdala deserves safety. So how do you rewire your hippocampus? By listening to positive affirmations, reading positive affirmations. More you listen to and read positive affirmations, they will be rewiring your subconscious mind. More you read, eventually that hardened neural pathway that you're used to because of your negative thoughts, that barricade will break, and it will be overpowered by the rush of your positive thoughts and positive thinking, where you are allowing your positive thoughts to surface up more compared to the negative thoughts. Another way is to literally sit with your inner child and do a lot of inner child healing work. Go to each of the timeline. You can go ahead and read my book, Chronological Remembrance. It's on Amazon. Chronological Remembrance, a guide to inner child healing, a step-by-step guide to inner child healing and integration. So it literally has a chronological order of how you can go to each of the timeline of your life and understand the different emotions that you are going through, relate to it, love that part of you, and go to that another timeline and heal through the different timelines chronologically. So chronological remembrance is one very amazing way how you can choose to heal. So you can choose to heal your inner child across all timelines. And why heal your inner child? It regulates you at the core. So there are times when you are in a situation, everything is going fine, and suddenly you get triggered. That's wounded inner child talking. And when you heal your inner aspects, you don't get triggered in your office. You do not get triggered in a social setting. You do not have social anxiety anymore after healing. You do not show up in a way where you do not ever put yourself in states like you're not good enough, like you do not feel like you're not good enough. You do not feel like this will not work out for you. You love yourself enough. So inner child healing, inner work has massive benefits. So you go within and do that inner work. You sit with those aspects of yourself. You sit with your emotions. You understand your emotions. You understand the meaning you're giving to them. You understand your core values beneath them. More you retrospect, the more you have clarity, the more you are in control of how you feel. Your reactions and everything is in your control. You start to live a more conscious life. You start to live a life where your intuition, emotion, everything is more in your control. You're more in a state of alignment. And in that flow, in that course, you start to live anyway a more magical life. So for a person who's going through triggers already, who's going through already situations where they get overwhelmed and triggered, inner child healing can do magical transformations. So deep inner child healing, mindset work, which are the affirmations, subconscious rewiring, hypnosis, some methods, meditation. You can do it through energy healing also, Reiki, because energy healing work can really break the molecular cluster of your thoughts. Thoughts are basically molecular clusters, right? So as the molecular cluster breaks and rearranges in a different shape, your thought stream flow shifts and flips and differentiates from where you were vibing in. So mindset work, as I said, is one of the greatest way to shift it. Inner child healing. Apart from this, a great way to work on your triggers and states when you get overwhelmed would be start talking to yourself and get used to knowing that what are your trigger points usually. What are the things that usually trigger you? Beforehand, get idea about what are the things that I know of already that trigger me. So note them down, and once you become aware of it, go deeper. Why do these things go one trigger at a time? Like, why does that trigger you? What is that meaning that you are giving to it? And why are you giving that meaning? What does that meaning mean to you? Why is that meaning relevant to you? What is your deeper core value which is associated to this meaning, which is literally motivating you to give such a meaning? Once you go deeper to retrospect such realizations, you literally reach a point like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. This seems more like it's happening now and here rather than something out of control, rather than something happening out there. The sense of powerlessness reduces and you just feel more control. Your emotional management skills increases when you ask yourself such retrospective questions. So ask yourself such questions. Seek out for help. I would love to help you and hold space for you. If you're going through any kind of mental health turbulence and you want shift and more clarity, more transformation, want to level up your career, relationship, health, any kind of acceleration, manifestation, and healing, I would love to hold space for you and support you. Reach out for help. Allow yourself to be coached. Have an accountability partner. And have a safe place where you can not only rant your heart out, but really get the help for getting the direction to really manage and master your emotions better, so that you can show up in your day-to-day life from your best version of yourself every moment how you would prefer, because your best version of yourself is determined by you. You are the one who decides that what your best version of self looks like. Nobody else can decide. And once your self-image heightens, once your self-concept heightens, these triggers and overwhelmed state kind of reduces. So if you are kind of having like states where you get triggered and overwhelmed, go within that. How do I see myself? How do I perceive myself? And I look into myself, how do I really see myself? How do I see others? And how do I see myself? How do I think that another person perceives me, that I get conscious, that I get triggered, that I get anxious? What about it is related to my childhood or any past timeline that I can associate to? Where else have I felt something like this? This live stream will be up. You can like come here, jot down these questions and go all in. Ask yourself these. These are like golden nuggets which will really transform your situation. Get in the habit of either journaling or talking your heart out on a voice note, or you can do both. So here's a question from Karan. Hello, Karan this side. I would like to ask how to talk in public. I always feel hesitant to talk in public. So are you talking about talking on a stage or talking to people in general? So if it's talking to people in general and there is social anxiety, what is it that makes you anxious around being around people? What happens when somebody is there around you and someone is present? How do you feel about your sense of self? Do you feel like you shrink yourself, or sense of self kind of just does not feel like it exists? Your sense of self does not feel in that moment. What is it that starts to make you overwhelmed and anxious, that you just want to run away? And if it is on stage, what is it that you're confident to talk about? What is it from within that is streaming from you at this point of time that you will be most confident to talk about? Start talking about it, and then rest of the things will fall in place. At this point, whatever is flowing through you and is simulating through you, just start talking about it, and eventually that topic that is so close to your heart, you will start talking about it, and you like feel like, oh my god, magic has happened. And that will happen once you start to really start flowing from where you are confident about. So if you're not feeling confident on camera, hold this camera and feel like, oh, I'm just recording and I'm just talking to myself, or I'm just recording and I'm just gonna send it to myself and I'm gonna see this video. So make the video, like if you're uploading, for everyone, content creators and everyone who's uploading video and are like, how are you so camera friendly? Hold the camera and be like, I'm talking to myself. I am in a live stream right now, and this is also how I'm talking, right? Because I have practiced it over the course of time. But when I first did it, I was like, okay, I'm just on a phone and I'm just on a camera. I'm just talking to myself. I'm just talking my heart out. I can just delete it. So I'm just talking my heart out. And when you just talk your heart out and just look into your eyes, just set yourself with your looking into yourself, and just start to connect and just talk, you connect, because everyone is you pushed out. My childhood is full of pulling, and I can't forget. If you are coming from a childhood where things were not easy, yes, I have talked about inner child healing before, but let us just demonstrate a method altogether today of how you can heal your childhood wounds. So this demonstration that I'll show you will help you to work with your triggers and overwhelming emotions. But before we move into it, we'll just give you a gist of what we've already talked about. So if you're getting triggered and overwhelmed, you are first of all recording your thoughts and recording your heart out and recording on a voice note and keeping a note of it, of what is really going on without holding anything back. Just rant your heart out. You can do it on a video also. If you want to like become a content creator and you have issues, do this exercise on a video that I'm telling you to do on an audio voiceover. Do it on a video. Once you've recorded your heart out, listen to it. Once you listen to it, pause the video in every second and write the negative to positive. So whatever negative thought you're saying, whatever negative narrative you're saying, write that negative sentence, then change into positive sentence, and keep this notebook handy. Throughout the day, you will go back and check this notebook again and again. Apart from that, I have also mentioned you all to do inner child healing, which is read my book, Chronological Remembrance. And apart from that, what it is all about is going to each of the timelines and memories you have and walking through the emotions that comes up and hugging yourself in those timelines and healing yourself. So apart from this, of course, continue to listen to positive affirmations to rewire your hippocampus. We've already talked about how your shaking sensation is happening because your amygdala is threatened, and the memories that you're getting, the thoughts you're getting are already stored in your hippocampus, which stores your memories. To rewire your hippocampus, which stores your memories, you have to have positive thoughts to get into your neural pathway. So the hardened aspects that are there that are just solidified, that just can melt, and that melting can allow that streamline of the positive thoughts to eventually overpower. You can move from paranoia to pronoia. So that is another way. And apart from that, of course, get used to your emotions, how you're feeling. Ask yourself the questions that I have talked about. It was impromptu in the vibe of what the group energy was. So go back and check the questions. So now we will be demonstrating something. So yeah, I have also talked about listening to Reiki and energy healing to heal you, and vibrational music and frequency music, because They usually take your thought, like dismantle your thoughts and change your energy configuration, and that also is a way to transmute your thoughts and change your energy dimensions. And raising your frequency meditation does the same thing, because your each emotion is associated with a particular frequency. So now coming to a demonstration that we are going to do about bully wounds, which is very associated to people who are getting triggered or overwhelmed. Like today, if you are getting triggered and overwhelmed, there is a history to it. So often at times the history is bully wounds. So if you are going through bully wounds, so go to a memory that you have in school where you were getting bullied. And observe that memory as a third party, as another classmate in that class. Now see yourself who's getting bullied and your classmate that is bullying you. Go to that you and give yourself the love, that warmth, that support, and continue to love yourself over there. Whatever she or he is feeling in that timeline, whether he or she is feeling overwhelmed, triggered, anxious, continue to love that part of you in that timeline. Continue to be more present with her or him in that timeline, and love that aspect of you from within. So whatever he or she is feeling on the inside, become aware of it by just empathizing and remembering and focusing on simply what you're feeling in his or her presence, and feel that energy and be present and love this part. When I say love this part, simply hug this part as if it's another part, another child who's hurting. And you can sense that how much they must be hurting, because you have been hurt and you have gone through it. So and simply hug and love that part of you. Continue to love that part of you and hug that part of you, and give yourself immense love. Open your heart up and give that part love, knowing that it is safe to give that part love. Often at times we are like, stuck in this state of safety because we are loyal and honest to the idea that right now I'm not feeling safe, so I must say that I'm not feeling safe, because that's against my integrity to fool myself by saying I'm safe, because I'm a loyal person with integrity. And that can hold you back to allow yourself to even say that you're safe and you're kind of triggered, because it's kind of familiar to feel more triggered than it's familiar to feel not triggered. So continue to love that part and unconditionally give that part love from your heart, and pour love to that part of you in that timeline. As you continue to love that part, be present with that part. Give that part love and ask that part how it feels, what it desires, what it's looking for, what's making it stuck. Ask it questions that you are guided to ask. And as it is revealing things, as you're recalling more memories, and as it is giving the signal to a trigger in your amygdala and your hippocampus is recording memories that you're seeing and visualizing and sensing, continue to love her through all those experiences and move through all your feelings, and continue to love yourself across all timeline and space. So continue to be present, continue to love, continue to nurture yourself from inside and out. Feel that sense of warmth, feel that sense of love, feel that sense of radiance and softness at the core. So more you feel that softness and love within, you're starting to feel that sense of comfort within, and introduce that frequency of comfort, ease, often at times. And this is how you will keep on melting parts of you like you just melted, and come back to the moment feeling more integrated even in those aspects, realizing a deeper wisdom, often at times having deeper realization, often at times having deeper understanding to ultimately expand more, evolve more, and level up through dimensional transformational shifts and emotional deeper realizations, and that therefore impacting how you think, act, feel, and show up in your day-to-day life, and thereby expanding your sense of being, your personality, and elevating your confidence, and just helping you just reverberate in your true core essence. And that happens when you more and more immerse yourself with love at the core. So feel yourself with love in every point that is triggered, and immerse yourself with immense of love. And one more thing you can do, you can listen to Ho'oponopono prayer, like Ho'oponopono. Just search for Ho'oponopono and listen to I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, I thank you. These are the 4 basic sentences of Ho'oponopono. So apart from that, I would suggest any kind of meditation or guided meditation that also you can incorporate. And of course, if there are spiritual wounds or ancestral wounds coming up, or you're triggered because of narcissist parents and wounds coming up from others, of course, allow yourself to go through ancestral healing, shamanic healing, and allow yourself to go deeper to heal more. So as you heal more, you allow yourself to open up more. Deeper you go, the more you widen. The deeper you go, the more you open up, the more you connect to aspects of yourself, the more you connect to sensations within, the more you nurture yourself, more you understand yourself, more you get a better grasp of who you are at the core, and more you connect to yourself at the core, the more your inner momentum increases, and that reflects on the outside, on the outer momentum. So your inner work also leads to increased productivity. The list of how inner work can transform your life is endless. So if you're a person who's getting triggered and overwhelmed, the answer is in inner work and all the ways I have given you to get over it. Thank you, and love and light to you. Have a wonderful day ahead.